Scoodly doodly doo, it's time for another Welch review. Scoodly doodly doo doo. Evening, everybody, and welcome to the Welch Review. It's a pleasure to be talking to you again about some movies that we've recently seen. This week we are talking about Roland Emmerich's new disaster movie, Moonfall. And it's not aliens, it's not tidal waves, this time it's the moon. And in Moonfall, you have Halle Berry as Jocinda Fowler. You might recognize her from Catwoman and Monsters Ball, Swordfish, Die Another Day. I mean, it's Halle Berry. You know her, I know her, we all know her. You have Patrick Wilson as Brian Harper. Patrick Wilson recently was Orm in Aquaman, right? His half-brother. He's also from Insidious, Joe Carnahan's movie Stretch. It's nice to see that he's kind of being in more high-budget stuff. It's good to see him getting that star treatment for a little while, which is star treatment. He's going to the moon. Space humor! Anyway, you have John Bradley, who plays Casey Houseman. And John Bradley, famously Samuel Tarly from Game of Thrones. Nice to see him making that transition into more films. You have Charlie Plummer playing Sonny Harper. Charlie Plummer was in All the Money in the World, the film Spontaneous, where kids' heads were blowing up, and The Clove Hitch Killer with, oh God, what's his name? Dermot, it'll come to me. But that's a very good movie. Clove Hitch Killer is definitely worth seeing. Then you have Michael Pena as Tom Lopez. He's Ant-Man, Fantasy Island, Chips, and Carolina Bartzak as Brenda Lopez. And this is, as it seems to be, her really first big foray into film. You also have Donald Sutherland as Holdenfield, right, for Animal House, Backdraft, Clute, right, Kiefer's Pops. It's nice to see Donald doing things. And then this was written by Roland Emmerich and Harold Closer. And they worked previously with each other in 10,000 BC in 2012. And it was also written by Spencer Cohen, who wrote Extinction and the new Expendables movie that's coming out. And then, as I said, this was directed by Roland Emmerich. Godzilla, 10,000 BC, Independence Day, The Day After Tomorrow. You know, pretty much anything where any big thing gets destroyed, it's his movie. So you kind of already see a theme with his work. The world is ending, and that's no different here. And I'm sure from the trailer you guys could suspect, basically something crazy is happening with the moon, and it's slowly crashing into Earth. And Casey Houseman, right, John Bradley, he figures it out, but he's looked at as neurotic. Patrick Wilson plays a disgraced astronaut, and together they have to team up to save the day. And I think that's a pretty simple synopsis to leave you with. Now, this movie, I saw it with my friend Alberto and Chris said to me, it's perfect. This is a B movie that got too much money. And that's exactly what it is. This is I found it to be a very fun piece of time. It's definitely cheesy. It's campy. It's like those disaster films from the 70s. But it's good. It's good. It's worth watching. If hopefully you're a fan of those things. I think some of the writing, however, was a little stale. It just seemed like you weren't really invested in the characters. You didn't really care what happened to them. And it's like, oh, you're the hero. We're supposed to root for you, but no emotional connection to the characters whatsoever. And then some of the lines they had were just really dull. And like they would say something, and it's a very intense moment, and none of the lines would transmit that. They just felt really flat. They also had a lot of jumbled plot lines, all in one. They had something about cults forming, like people, scavengers forming together, surviving for themselves. Someone being arrested and put in jail. You, of course, have the moon, what they find on the moon, what the thing is, what's happening, and all jumbled into one thing, and it's just like a hodgepodge of let me throw this pasta at the wall and see if it sticks. And in some cases, right, some outweigh the others. Other times it, again, I hate to repeat it, but fell flat. But it was a good film, for a B movie. don't, I guess, have your expectations going in, but, you know, the world has been rather crazy lately, so, you know, I think we have faced the end of the world in our own way in some capacity. So I don't know. It was kind of cool to sit down and see, like, all right, Roland Emmerich, what have you been cooking up through this pandemic? So if you're down with that, definitely give Moonfall a watch. But if you've had enough end of the world for 1 or 2 or the last 3 years, then I don't blame you for skipping it. But overall, not a bad movie. This has been the Welch Review, and thank you for your time.